Ba-da-da-da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Oh, is that? Oh, shoot. We're not muted. Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
Hi.
Welcome to that. Sorry about that wait there. We're getting people set up.
Yeah, rotating people around, starting the other tournament as well.
Yeah, we have a side event.
Yep. So,
Sean, on camera now, the actual dude, the Lebowski.
yeah, took down the round one against Mitch 3-0.
Yeah. He's playing against Jake on his classic deck also, Nyakiki Pod.
Yeah, he went the distance on his five games.
Against Omnishow.
Yeah, reverse sweep. Was down 0-2.
Rally back.
Yeah.
I am obliged to remind you to follow us here on Twitch. Head over to the YouTube channel, subscribe there. We love it. We really enjoy the support from our community. This has been sort of a labor of love getting this tournament series going this year and having these players come out to all these events, qualify for us, and be playing here in the semifinals. It's wild.
Yeah, and the A players that made it this far are a great representation of the format. All great people playing cool decks.
8 different decks.
Yeah. And here we've got the Nyakiki Pod versus Mono Red Goblins. And the Goblins coming out swinging. Got the Firebrand and the Legion Loyalists sideways already.
Oh, yeah. Interestingly, we had points changes earlier in the year. Sean's was a deck that was affected by it. He gets to free roll Price of Progress now.
Yeah, freed up the points for him to switch into Black Lotus and out of Strip Mine.
Yeah, which is probably better. You can high roll way faster with a Black Lotus.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially when you have these 4-color decks and, in the format, that turn 1 Moon effect is really, it's really an appealing
100%.
reason to play Black Lotus,
Yeah, keeping Black Lotus, Blood Moon, opening hand feels pretty okay, yeah. And you can just tell how much faster Sean's deck is. His game objects are smaller, but also he just gets to deploy them faster, and he gets to kill people while they're setting up. Yeah. Jake has a lot of setup turns here, and Sean is just going to take advantage of that. His opponent's already at 16. He's got 2 creatures. This Legion Loyalist is wild.
Card is very, very, very good.
Is that an Ancient Tomb?
No, that is a Wasteland.
Oh, it's just a Wasteland. Yeah. I mean, do it.
Yeah, Jake's got the Triome. Didn't play anything on turn 2.
I think Sean's just going to Wasteland the Triome. You do. Oh, he's casting a spell.
Yeah,
okay.
He's just going to spend some mana here.
What is that?
It's a good question.
I presume a goblin.
I have such a hard time naming what those goblins are.
Yeah,
well, Sean also has blinged out his deck to a degree.
All right, whatever it is, it's eating a lightning bolt.
See, this is why he should have just Wasteland that Triome. We're just getting in.
Yeah.
This Legion Wales' Battle Cry. Is that, I presume it's a legendary goblin. Might be a Mons, Pashalik Mons.
So one thing about Sean's deck is it is all blinged out. There's a lot of alternate art. There's
Jake missing his third land drop. This would be a great time to fire off that Wasteland.
Sure makes the Wasteland appealing,
Yeah,
I believe Jake in his hand has some mana-intensive cards. I saw a Court of Calling, and I believe a 4th Erlingus in his hand.
Ooh, that Ligma.
Yeah.
And there's another goblin. I have seen some goblins in my life. If I were Sean, I would be firing off this Wasteland, taking him off of everything. Like, even if he gets that 3rd land next turn, make it...
Looks like a White Plume and a Chandra as well.
Yeah, you don't want him to deploy that.
Yeah, the White Plume will pick up another basic, if he gets to deploy that, but...
He's just letting it go.
Yeah. He has his reasons, I presume.
He's here. He's done this before.
Yeah.
And Jake, already at 12, hasn't done really anything.
Does find a land, I believe.
Yeah. But does he want to deploy a White Plume? Because Sean will throw his creatures into a wood chipper every time.
He will. I don't know. I don't know. So I believe that for Jake, having another land is far more important than Sean getting a basic mountain.
Fair enough. Jake's deck does operate with the initiative as sort of like I don't want to say primary, but it's definitely a big part of the game plan.
Yeah.
Having a White Plume adventure, having a Seasoned Dungeoneer, getting the Caves of Chaos adventure, or the Undermountain adventure. Those are like, he has sort of a quadrumphant of initiative creatures that are really effective.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at Jake's mana base right now, his white source is that Triome. So if he gets Wastelanded, he's not casting that White Plume. So,
yeah, he has to cast it now, I think. Yeah, there it is.
And I think he's also happy to get a basic here too, and for a number of reasons: price of progress, moon effects.
Sean and I have also discussed Wasteland as a utility spell, where it's not necessarily used to put your opponent off of mana. It's to remove key lands that disrupt your game plan. Karakas being one of them.
Yeah.
Because if your opponent lands a Karakas, that turns off a good chunk of your super powerful goblins, like a Muxus or a Kiki Jiki, if you can get it out. Sean also, you may look at his deck and think, okay, this is an aggro deck. We're playing little creatures. We're getting in sideways. It's a combo deck.
It can be, yeah. It can come off Recruiter pretty quick.
Yep. Conspicuous Snoop, Recruiter. It just goes bonkers.
Yeah. So Sean doesn't use his mana there.
Sort of awkward.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure what's going on his side, but it could just be that he does have something at 4 mana that he really would like to get into play. Something like a Trash Master
And he could be waiting to hard cast a Fury if he thinks he can do it. We're just getting the initiative out. We're setting up here.
Yeah, so we got the White Plume in play.
I think Jake's feeling a lot better now. He's not under 10. He's got the initiative on his side. Even if he has to trade it, he'll trade it, right?
Yeah, and he went and got a Forest, off the White Plume. So I think he's probably setting up to try to play this Court of Calling.
Yeah. So we're just gonna take one off of this goblin.
Yeah, this Fanatic Firebrand gets in.
Sean's already made his land drop return, notably. It is going to stop Jake from slamming in with a 5/5 next turn.
He'll probably swing with the 5/5 as long as this White Plume lives, because it'll untap.
Yeah, it'll just be a 3/3 when it attacks, though.
Sure, yeah.
But I don't know that Sean is as concerned about his life total.
He's a Goblin player,
As long as they're lower than you.
Yeah. And he's got some, he's got Price of Progress. He's got Goblin Grenade.
Yeah.
He's got some reach, with some burn spells.
Yeah, that Price of Progress is would kill Jake very quickly.
Yeah.
Jake's on 3 non-basics right now.
Right.
And that, I mean, we've seen that it dome people out from 10, 12 life.
Yeah, and, unfortunately that Jake took a little while to find the mana, but even if he had, he was paying the Triome price already.
And it's the archer. He blocked and then he was able to deploy the archer.
The twin shot sniper.
Yeah. Just play the sniper. That is a goblin. Did you know that?
It is a goblin, yeah.
That's wild. That was a great play from Sean. I was not expecting that.
So this is maybe why he held up that 2 mana to have a shock with the channel portion of that card.
Oh, yeah. I really like that. That was a smart play. I think we underestimate how difficult some of the decisions in the Goblins deck is. You have to sequence correctly, and sometimes you're not using all of your mana. Sometimes you're waiting.
Yeah.
And while he's done 10 damage to his opponent at this point, it's not in the bag. There's a 4th X2.
There's that 4th, yeah. So this is maybe a defensive 4th.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. So these are 2/2 haste trample knights, right? Soldiers?
They are, yeah.
Knights.
Yep, human knights.
Human knights. As all Rohirrim are.
Yes.
The Rohirrim, ordained knights by King Theoden of Rohan, led by their captain, played by Carl, or not Carl, what's his name?
Yeah, the guy that's in everything.
Oh my gosh, he's in Mad Max. No, not in Mad Max. He's in Dread.
Yeah, He's in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, he plays the guy with the shaved head.
Yeah. He's in everything. He's just in everything.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just getting in for 2 here, sort of offering the trade. What's interesting is that by Jake getting in with one of the creatures, it introduces the Monarch, which isn't necessarily advantageous in the same way that the initiative isn't advantageous necessarily. Oh, we're just scrying 2. Okay.
Yeah, he's a little behind the 8 ball. He's looking for some answers, but he is going to have a hard turn next turn. He's going to get this Kiki Jiki on this twin shot sniper. He's going to kill this other knight.
He's just going to hard cast Kiki Jiki.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, and another reason maybe that he didn't want to sacrifice that wasteland.
It does get the draw off of the Monarch, but like you said, we're guaranteed going to be at 5 land, and this is super interesting. This is Sean not using the wasteland has been an important decision.
Yeah, it has.
That's wild.
Yeah,
he's just making land drops. He's playing bigger and bigger goblins. Is he just going to go for it? Yeah, his opponent doesn't have counter spells. Copy twin shot.
Yep.
Kill the knight. Jake is if you're watching Jake on screen, he has some tells when his eyebrows go up high. He's like, oh geez.
Yeah, well, you can't see the rest of his face,
Yeah.
So,
he's killing the one knight. He's gonna get in, take the initiative.
Yeah, he's gonna get him for 5 here if he wants to.
Which I think he wants to.
Yeah, well, he's goblins. You don't play goblins to not attack, right?
Yeah. I mean, Kiki Jiki just doing tons of work here. So getting in for 5, it's going to draw him a card. It's going to get him the initiative back. And if Jake doesn't have a response, he's dead.
Right.
Because next turn he gets to pump one of his creatures and just kill him.
Yeah.
Going against an aggro deck, introducing these game states creates some
I gave it to him.
super wild decisions.
Yeah, and
Jake just under the 8 ball.
Never feels good to have to play the 4th and just give the the Monarch right back away, which he's also done with the initiative. He's
Sean's sticker deck there on the bottom left, and the Goblin token, the Goblin name plaque. This deck also showing why it's important to commit to a strategy, commit to a deck, and get reps. Because Sean has more reps on this deck than probably any other player in the top 8 has reps, unless it's Travis. Travis may be close.
Yeah, I mean, as we've talked about before, Travis doesn't just play mono white at these tournaments.
Yeah,
it's also his commander
that's true.
deck.
Yeah, he does play mono white all the time. Okay, so Chandra's going to minus and kill the Kiki Jiki here. This is sort of an interesting decision to not give +1/+1 counters to Kiki Jiki. But also it would have died to the Chandra no matter what. It would that's just a flame slash.
Yeah.
But if he's going to be able to tick down. No, he can't go across there.
Yeah.
Make the treasure or goad. You can't goad anything. You're just going to make the treasure.
Yeah, I mean, still can go if he wants to try to get over to the archives.
Yeah. It was sort of a weird choice not to go down to the counters, because if you go down to the counters, he's dead.
Yeah.
But he might just be dead anyway. John's deck, super fast, just firing all cylinders. Hey, look, it's a Mox.
Ruby. Trying to see what we've got for cards in Sean's. His deck has just so many alternate.
Now he's
cards.
wastelanding.
Yeah.
He has enough lands now. Okay, we got a Rabble Master.
Yeah.
It's gonna. I don't.
Yeah, and another
Runevelt.
+1/+1.
A Runevelt Goblin Master. And we're picking it up.
Yep.
Holy cow.
So a little stumble from Jake, and that's exactly what goblins will
capitalize
on.
Yeah. Didn't
it has
boy
can create the stumbles. It's but Jake just sort of naturally stumbled there.
Yeah, it's not the thing that trips you. It's just the pungy pit that you fall into.
Yep.
Yeah, it's ready for you to fall. All right, we're gonna let him shuffle up, resolve some mulligans, and we'll be right back for game 2.
That's right.
All right, we're back. Did a little checking on the other match going on. Tanner and Travis out there. Tanner took it, game 1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Travis down a game. Sean figuring out what stickers he's on this game. If you're unfamiliar with the Mind Goblin, the underscore Goblin, you have to put a sticker on it to generate some mana.
Yeah. Yep. That the one that's impossible to get on your deck list.
Yeah,
How many
has
underscores do you need? You know.
a whole bunch.
Yeah.
The all he needs is one of the names with 7 vowels or something.
I think the highest one is 6.
Oh, 6, right?
Yeah.
It has A-I-U-Y. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he can generate positive mana, and it's almost guaranteed. I'm assuming Jake's going to be on the play this time.
This is one of those matches where that's important.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would assume so too.
Sean does win fast. I'm also going to point out that Sean has a coaster for his water bottle there. That is the rug from the Big Lebowski.
Yep.
It ties the whole room together.
Yeah, he did show up for our Halloween event as the dude.
Which is how he lives his life too.
I think so. Yeah.
Sean and I live close to each other, and he's just like the chillest guy. Lives his life as chill as possible. Very interesting to talk to. Very cool to hang out with.
Yeah.
And what's really funny, not at all a goblin in real life. Like it's not emblematic of his personality. Are we just?
All right, here comes the goblin guy. We're getting a land off of it.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
So Jake just going to 18. He did lead with a
Raging Ravine.
Raging Ravine.
Yeah.
There. Should be at 18 now.
Just pass him back. Maybe has one of these removal spells. I do believe I see a Lelia in his hand. Here's that Wasteland again.
Yeah.
Legion Loyalist with the goblin guy.
Making sure we got life totals updated there.
Nice.
It's not just for our viewers. It's for me and you, too, in the booth.
That's true.
I have a hard time remembering, there's a Kiki
Oh,
Jiki.
man. A Kiki Jiki from the non-goblin player.
Both decks on Kiki Jiki. Not exactly the card you want to actually draw for Jake.
No.
Very difficult to cast.
I do believe... is that a Scalding Tarn?
Yeah, that's a
He's probably
Scalding
going to just shuffle that away, I would guess.
Yeah, I'm
Goblin Guy doing its best to give Jake a little extra information.
Yeah, and we're wastelanding it. Okay, that's smart.
Yeah.
If Sean has a lean hand, like a super lean hand, I've seen him win games off of a single land.
Oh, for sure.
It doesn't need much.
Yeah.
That last game sort of not necessarily emblematic of of how many land drops Goblins actually makes.
Yeah, there are most games where he considers that flooding.
Yeah.
But
Hard casting a Kiki Jiki, never a bad thing.
no.
You love, I have done it very few times. Oftentimes it's when my opponent plays a Blood Moon. And I end up with a Kiki Jiki in hand and I go, oh, well, thanks for doing that for me.
Jake not shying away from these on-basic lands.
No. He kind of has to. He has to fetch for the triumphs, otherwise he's not going to be able to play Magic.
Yeah.
It also allows Sean to force the issue, and then he can Blood Moon later. He can Price of Progress later.
It does look like Sean has a fairly land-heavy hand. I saw at least 3 mountains there. 4
Oh,
mountains.
wow. Yeah, that's rough. I'm not sure what he's drawn, but yeah, that's... Man. What is that other card in hand?
I think it's a goblin.
I don't know that it is. I think it might be a dragon fodder. Lets you sack something to make goblin tokens. I think that's dragon fodder.
It's like I said, all the alternate art in Sean's deck makes it pretty tough to recognize all these cards.
Just getting in for one.
That looks like a goblin matron, maybe.
Is it a goblin matron? Okay. So John drawing some gas now.
That could also be an 8th edition Goblin King.
He does have a white bordered Goblin King.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just getting an Ewit to get back a fetch land, probably. Oh, it's a Bolt.
Getting a Lightning Bolt.
Yeah. Bolt gonna take care of this goblin if Sean doesn't play additional goblins. Sean forgetting to untap his goblins every time. He also plays his lands vertically. like like a psychopath.
Yeah, well, he's a goblin, you know?
Not in real life, just plays one on TV. Oh my goodness. Yeah, again, thanks for sticking around with us today. We are doing best of 5 for this tournament. So
Yeah, best of 5. And some people got some value out of that. You know?
Yep.
So here comes the Legion Loyalist. I'm guessing that wasn't a Goblin King, otherwise he gives it Mountain Walk.
Yes. And then it's I don't know. I don't even know that he cares to trade with the Eternal Witness though.
Might be true.
That is a Goblin King for
It
sure.
definitely looks like one, yeah.
Yeah. But it's going to eat a lightning bolt no matter what. I don't know that he cares as much what he's playing into. What is that other card? Is that a Goblin Fodder or Dragon Fodder?
I don't know. I can't see it. I presume it's some kind of instant speed.
Yes.
Something, since we're leaving 3 mana up.
Oh, it's a Lelia, the Blade Reforged. So
Yep.
this card, Spirit, Legendary Spirit. It has haste. It's a 2/2 with haste. When it attacks, you get to exile the top card of your library. You can play it until end of turn. And whenever you exile the card from your library or your graveyard, it gets a counter, a +1/+1 counter.
Yep. And so we got the Noble Hierarch being revealed here.
So if he has a land, he can play that land, cast the Noble Hierarch. And we know he does. He got the... No. We don't know if he does. He didn't get a fetch land back. He got the lightning.
The lightning
bolt
bolt,
back.
yeah. I think it's safe to assume he has the land. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
Sunbaked... Is that Sunbaked Canyon?
Sunbaked Canyon.
Yeah.
It's a pain land that produces red or white, and you can cycle it. It's a Horizon land,
Yep.
a canopy land. It was one of the cycle in Horizons, Modern Horizons 1.
Yeah, recently reprinted in Doctor Who.
I really like that they did that.
Yeah.
Because where else are you going to reprint it? The question is, do we get the remainder of that cycle, the Allied Colors cycle, in the next Modern Horizons set?
Who knows?
Because all we have is the green-white Allied version, and that's the...
Bag End.
Oh my gosh, please stop. Horizon Canopy.
Listen, I'm technically correct.
You are
So we
the best kind of correct.
Playing another land here, we are deploying, I believe, is that the Chieftain?
Yeah. So, probably going to eat a lightning bolt. Jake's going to be able to get in for 4. Actually, yeah, no, he can't. He can only cast the card off the top until end of turn, so he can't get the
Yeah, that Hierarch's
Exalted
gone
Trigger.
forever, yeah.
Yeah. And there's I have no idea what land that is. Is that a fetch? Oh my gosh, here comes the initiative.
Yeah. Okay, so Seasoned Engineer coming down.
Is Lelia a warrior?
I believe Lelia is a warrior.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so. That would make it... Otherwise, he's going to swing with the Lelia before he plays a Seasoned Engineer.
It is a warrior.
Yeah.
It's a spirit warrior, which sounds like a rad band name.
Spirit Warrior?
Spirit warrior.
Yeah.
You know, I'm something of a spirit warrior myself.
Are you?
Oh no. I got that spiritual warrior in me. Got that dog in me. So it's going to be able to attack, and then he gets to stack 2 triggers. One is where it gets to explore and it gets protection from creatures, and the other is where it exiles a card from the top of your library. So potentially, this is attacking for 6, unblockable.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Depending on how the Explorer rolls out, and that's, yeah.
Or 5, rather, because it's a 3/3 now. Attacking,
Yeah.
explore trigger, the exile trigger.
We keep trying to give this thing Exalted.
Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah.
don't know why I'm doing that.
Lelia deserves to be Exalted.
It is a game plan on its own. This card is sort of bonkers. And there's an Urza Saga. Jake, I believe, has already played his land for turn.
Yeah, I'm not
Just
sure if
this-
we're stacking the Explorer first or the Reveal. Okay, we did the Explorer
Okay,
first.
we did. Wow.
Oh, and he can cast this.
He gets to
Shadow Spear.
cast the Shadow Spear.
Yeah.
Wow. So he can't cast it yet. Has to wait till he's out of combat.
Now he has to choose between this Lightning Bolt and this Shadow Spear.
Yep.
So interesting choice there.
I think he chooses Shadow Spear. It's going to give you
It's
lifelink.
very good against goblins.
Yeah.
It's very good against goblins.
Lifelink is very good. Did you know that it just gives you life?
You know what? It's the tramples are super relevant. In this
Also
matchup, too.
true.
Yeah.
And he gets... Oh, I think he's already made his land drop. I may be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's making much of an impact.
So he didn't have to choose.
Yeah.
He got both.
Just both.
He had his cake. He ate it.
And this was a wild thing that he sequenced like this, but I think it's correct. You sequence the Explore first so you know if it's a land.
Right.
And then you sequence, and then you get to see what's underneath it.
Yeah.
If it's a non-land you don't want, you just pitch it. You throw it away. So it only attacked as a 5/5. No, 4/4.
4/4, yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel bad for him, but he does still have the lightning bolt up. Sean's sort of in a rough position now. He has a Cranko in hand.
He does have the Cranko. It's likely that, I mean, he's got to just pick something that he is going to die of the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, this Shadow Spear is going to get suited up, and it's just going to cut a turn off the game to have a lightning bolt instead of killing a creature.
Sean does have a decent amount of artifact interaction in the deck.
He does, yeah. He beefed up on it because he knew his first round opponent was Mitch.
Yep, and there's also just like a natural good ton of artifacts that float around.
There are.
Are we killing Goblin King here? Oh, it does not. Does it have haste? Or Goblin Chieftain?
War Chief gives haste. I'm not sure if Chieftain does. So he chose to kill the Chieftain. He thinks maybe I can beat some 1/1 goblins, but maybe not if they're
Yeah,
creatures.
it does give them haste, so other creatures have haste.
Okay.
He could have activated it in response. Oh, he lightning bolted in response to the Cranko coming into play.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the timing can be a little bit hard because we can't hear the player speaking.
Yeah.
So
lightning bolt being an instant, really important. Are we putting
forging
counters
up,
on it?
yeah.
I think we put counters on the Molalia. It's sort of outside of any kind of range to be hurt now. And it's going to end the game real quick. We're going to suit it up with this Shadow Spear. It's going to swing in for 3, 4, 5, 6 lifelink, trample.
Yeah, I mean, there may be some merit to putting the Shadow Spear on the Dungeoneer and getting in with both since it gives trample.
Fair. I don't know that Sean wants to trade away that Cranko, though. And if he does, I think he's fine with it.
Yeah, maybe you offer the trade.
Yeah.
Or
Dungeoneer can give itself.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a Karmic Guide on top. This is one of these pod cards,
Yep. Not that great anymore.
Not great in this position. It's an important part of the chain if you're going to play pod. But not great in this position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets played in exactly ones of decks now, which is decks with Birthing Pod.
So, he puts it in the yard, reveals a Copperline Gorge for the Lalia trigger.
So he gets to play that until end of turn if he chooses. It's going to come into play tapped. It's interesting to me that Jake isn't swinging all out, I don't think. Because he gave the Lalia the Explore and Protection.
Yeah.
I think I might have been a little bit more aggressive if I were Jake.
Yeah, he may be worried about burn spell plus blocks, but
he's a 23 man.
To kill the Seasoned Dungeoneer specifically.
Sure.
But putting his opponent to 4, I'm sure he has some kind of plan to end this game.
Yeah, if he had gotten the Dungeoneer Protection and Explorer, he could have attacked with both, and the game probably would be over. Because Cranko getting in front of that would have absorbed 2 damage, and the Dungeoneer would have gotten in for 3. So Sean would have been at 1, right?
Yeah, kind of maybe taking the safer path.
Yeah, I suppose.
Just because he probably feels like he can't lose here. Like all roads sort of lead to Rome. Yeah. The one instance where he maybe could lose this game is if Sean has a Snoop already in hand and a recruiter. Yeah.
Yeah, in that case. So he's going to untap.
That would be vicious, because we'll get a Skirk prospect.
This is his last turn. He is at 4. His opponent can go to the trap next turn.
Yeah.
Trap house him.
Yeah.
Get him in that trap house.
Can make a construct. Can draw. He's got all this stuff.
Game's going to end on upkeep.
Looks like there's a Price of Progress in Sean's hand. A Goblin King.
Does that make Cranko unblockable?
It does. It gives him Mountain Walk. It gives Goblins Mountain Walk.
If he can 20...
So he can swing for 4 right now if he makes 2 Goblins with Cranko.
Yes.
Potentially more.
No, he's not going to be able to price him.
That might be the new pirate with bows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the new one out of the Commander deck. Oh, this is rough. I don't know that Sean's got enough to win it. He's just deploying to see if he can get there, testing his opponent.
I believe he's got 14 damage right now.
Oh, it's a remand.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The reprieve. Sorry, the white remand. This is a great addition to white decks. It allows them to interact meaningfully on the stack.
Yeah.
And it replaces itself in hand. Sean's just
He had 15 damage right there. That was,
yes, it was a
damage.
lot.
Yeah.
The issue is that Shadow Spear.
Yeah.
Man, without that Shadow Spear, you can kind of kill him out of nowhere.
I mean, the remand also kind of shuts it down. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage out of nowhere. You can see that from the even though he didn't win this game, you can see the Goblin deck out of nowhere can just put a ton of damage.
It's
on you.
wild, right?
Yeah.
It sort of reminds me of like a board-based burn deck, where all these like interactive pieces stack on top of each other to create sort of an insurmountable win for Sean out of nowhere.
Right.
All right, that's game 2. We got both players on games. I'm gonna go check on Tanner and Travis, see how we're looking over there.
Cool.
We'll be right back for game 3. All right, getting started here on game 3. Sean's on the play. A little bit of update. Tanner, Travis, 1-1.
1-1. All right.
Both matches happening right now. Both players 1-1 on game 3. Immediately. All right, so this is a Mog Fanatic. Originally printed in Tempest. Do you remember the play with this card?
Well, there are a number, but damage used to be able to go on the stack.
Bingo.
And it made this card pretty good.
Yeah, you could block a 2 toughness creature with it.
Yep.
Put the damage on the stack, sacrifice it to deal another damage.
Yep.
Is that a Virtue Eater? Eater of Virtue?
I don't think so.
What is that on Jake's side?
Oh, that's a Shadow Spear, right?
Oh, is that a Shadow Spear?
I believe so.
Okay. What art is that?
I think it's the normal art in a weird light.
Oh. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think it's getting some weird light on it.
Yeah.
Is that a Goblin Lackey in...
Yes, it looks like a Pile Driver or a Crater Maker. Crater Maker up front.
Okay. Goblin Lackey alternate art.
Yeah, he's got a good
He's
hand.
got the new pirate, the Commander Pirate from Ixalan, I believe.
Yep. We're probably going to trade the Crater Maker for that.
The Shadow
Spear.
Yeah.
100%.
It's so good in this matchup, but it could also be that he just never has a creature to swing.
Yeah.
Because that Bombardier will put some work in.
Oh, yeah. This is a great hand for Sean.
Yeah.
A lot of interaction. If Jake tries to play an X1, he just gets to sack that Mog and kill that. Like, he can kill Thalia right now by sacking the Mog Fanatic.
Yep.
That feels so good. Like, if I were Sean, I would do this now.
I don't think he's in a hurry. See what he draws, you know?
I guess that's true.
Jake's not going to see any extra cards. There's like Castle
Oh, that's
Embereth.
true, yeah. I'm just overzealous, I think.
Yeah.
I'm nervous to let anything resolve on Jake's side if I'm Sean. I want all of the value on my side of the board, none of the value on my opponent. I don't want... I mean, honestly, if Jake goes to equip Thalia with the Shadow Spear and you Crater Maker it, that feels great. Is that a Castle Embereth?
It is a Castle Embereth.
Okay,
yeah.
that card's great. Sean not flooding here, but definitely able to make his land drops. And that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, so here's the Lackey.
Oh, yeah. Call this the skill testing card. In Legacy, this used to be like the unbeatable turn 1 play.
Oh, right.
If your opponent didn't have an answer for it. And what's that? That's part of the boom.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. It's one of the original Goblin Secret Lair cards.
Yeah. Again, this is what makes commentating hard when you're watching Goblins. It seems simple, but the art is complicated.
What is it? Bushwhacker. Oh, it's Bushwhacker. Wow. Oh, okay. He's actually done the Bushwhacker thing, where he has paid it for its surge cost. He surged it. Serge Jaeger making an appearance on a Goblin card.
This doesn't feel like a Surge situation.
It says Surge
not
on it.
That Surge.
It says Surge on the card.
I feel like he might even apologize for casting it.
Fair enough. So we're just getting in.
Yep.
So it's giving the team +1/+0 and haste.
And it's letting this lackey slap.
This is absolutely
But no goblin from the lackey. No goblin from the lackey.
No.
All right. Looks like a monkey on Jake's side. He's got a Ragavan in hand, I think.
you don't dash that, right?
Well, there's a lot of 1-drops he could cast.
Fair enough. I mean, he's
a shocking and a stomping ground.
Yeah. If he casts... Oh, so what are we going to do here? Gain some life? Probably. Yep. Gain some life. Go up to 12. So this is the Night of Autumn. Another knight on this side. Not a Rohirrim, though. It's a Dryad. Riding a horse made of plants.
Looks like maybe Sean drew a War Boss.
This is sort of a busted...
It might be Loyalist.
It might be... a Loyalist. What is this? Oh, it's an Aether Vial.
Yeah, a little late on the Aether Vial, but yeah, there's some War Boss.
Oh, gosh. So he's going to be able to make a token on... So he hasn't gone to combat yet. He's going to be able to go to combat... Swing out, make a goblin.
Trade something for this knight.
Yeah, because a knight's a 2/1.
Yeah.
He chose to gain life rather than making it a thick boy. Which I think was appropriate. It's funny to me that Jake played that and then Sean immediately played a target for the artifact disruption.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just trading.
Getting in front of that Crater Maker.
So if Jake can play... The issue with the Shadow Spear is it's just doing nothing now.
There's no creature.
Yeah, Jake has to play a creature and still have mana to equip it with the Shadow Spear for it to do anything. And
he needs some interaction.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, he's dead next turn if he doesn't have an answer. Boromir. An actual not a Rohirrim. This is a knight, a soldier, rather. Brother of Faramir.
Yeah.
Son of...
oldest son of Denethor.
Son of... what is it?
I'm not going any further back.
Yeah,
the Steward of Gondor.
Denethor, famous tomato eater, listener to Pippin's songs. We love to see him. He's sort of a hate piece. You don't have a lot of those in Jake's deck. Thalia, Boromir. We are going to take... smart. He remembered it. He's going to put the dice on the deck. Hoping to not draw another mountain. Like, really, anything but a mountain is really good for him here.
Yeah, if you haven't played these formats much, Boromir...
Oh, he can activate
really
the
good.
castle now. This is lethal, I believe. Because he can pump his whole team with the castle. Oh, did you draw Blood Moon? Oh, no, he gets to pump his team with the castle, and he gets in for lethal, because there's... So he's going to go to combat, create this, attack, pump his team, and I believe that's lethal.
Yeah, Sean just making sure he gets the timing right with the extra goblin in play, and
So the Goblin Legion. It's the Rabble Master that has.
Boss,
it gets the pump, so it gets to pump something else as well. This creates a really bad situation for Jake. Jake's sort of, I think, done here. He's forced to block. He's going to put a counter on one of his goblins.
Yep,
and that's
scoop it up.
yeah. Wow. We talked about how fast the goblins deck can win. He created a board of unbeatable power very quickly.
Yeah, and some of this is Jake failing to play anything meaningful in the first 2 turns.
Oh, that's true.
The Shadow Spear is a good card.
You know what it needs?
Well,
what does the Shadow Spear need?
I don't know. You tell me.
A body.
Well, yeah.
To attach to.
Yeah, and I think, Jake is... not that the Thalia was irrelevant. It was, it ate a Mog fanatic.
No, yeah, absolutely. And like a Thalia with a Shadow Spear is amazing.
Yeah, but I'm almost certain he wants to be casting a Mana Dork or a Mom on turn 1.
Oh, a Mom would be absurd.
He has a lot of 1-drops in his deck. Just kind of going a little bit slow here to deal with the goblins.
Yeah, I feel like he kept that hand on the back of the Shadow Spear and Thalia.
Yeah, he probably wasn't hoping to see Mog Fnatic turn 1. Fire
or
Brand.
fire other goblins. You
Yeah.
know, it's the deck created an absolutely absurd start.
Yeah.
So Jake on 1 game, Sean on 2. Going into game 4 here, Jake needs to win 2 more games to take it. Sean just 1 more.
Yeah, Jake needs 2 in a row.
Yeah, he needs to rally back. Travis and Tanner still going at it. I think they're on a break. I'm going to check really quick to see how those are doing. We're going to take a quick break in the booth. Before we do, just want to remind everybody to follow us on Twitch here. Go over to the YouTube, subscribe. Love it if you do.
Yeah.
Really appreciate all the support today.
Patreon.
Oh, yeah, there's Patreon. Magic Dads. We love you if you do that. We love you anyway, but do it too. All right, be right back. All right, we're back. On to game 4.
Yeah, on to game 4. Pretty good matchup here, I think. A lot of back and forth, but Sean is just getting under the wire here. He's coming out blazing. This is, I think, the 3rd game in a row where Jake is on the. No, he won one of the games, so he's on the play again though.
Yes, he's back. It's been back and forth.
This is a powerful hand from Sean, but a little bit slower than his previous hands. He's got the Muxus in his hand. He's got the Fury in his hand.
I think he's planning to pitch the Muxus to the Fury.
Maybe.
Yeah. He's got, is that 2 lands or 1 land? I think it's 2 lands, right?
I believe there's a Sokenzan in there.
Okay, so yeah, it's a 2 land hand. Sokenzan and even Castle Embreth representing wild lands in this deck.
Yeah.
They generally come in untapped. Sokenzan always. Sokenzan can also just create some hasty threats that are wild and good.
Tanner is up 2-1.
We checked. Yeah, that's Blake. Blake taking a stop in the room, playing in the side event right now.
1-0.
Yeah.
Oh!
He's beating some people up.
What's it like?
So in that round in game 2, I had a string where I was pretty far behind on board. Opponent had Archon of Emeria, Oko, and Leovold in play.
Yeah.
Mystical tutored for Terminus.
Oh, nice.
Terminus, and then followed up the Terminus with a 4th Ringolis for 4. So I was able to kill the Oko and take the initiative and the Monarch.
Yeah, that's great.
Was that Zoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jake mulliganing to 5 here.
Yeah, taking a mulligan. Looked like his hand was not terrible, but a lot of those come into play tapped lands.
Good luck, Blake. Blake's heading out. Yeah, there were. This is sort of ideal for Sean. The mulligan even is what I would consider a stumble, right?
Yeah.
You have to mulligan and do a really powerful start if you're going to survive.
Lotus. There's a Black Lotus in Sean's hand.
Holy Christ!
Yeah, so I don't think he's pitching that Muxus, but
No, this is sort of. We talked about the best of 5 sort of avoiding high rolls.
Yeah.
Sean has yet to high roll his opponent. We're about to see it.
potentially, yeah.
You know what's better than being on the play? Being on the draw with a Black Lotus.
Yeah. Could just maybe play it to get some other goblin into play, but you know,
Muxus is absurd.
Muxus is very good.
Okay, so Jake's staying at 5. This may be over. Unless Jake has some really good plays, he's going to be down a card.
Shadow's
here.
Yeah.
I
Again,
mean,
he does have some interactions since he's got the lightning bolt.
oh, there's a Blood Moon. That is a turn 1 Blood Moon if he wants to do it.
Yeah. This is the reason Lotus is in the deck. Now, whether Sean feels like it's the time for it, I don't know. But
look at the pause that's on his face right now. He has actively stopped moving. It looks like time is frozen. He's like really puzzling this one out. Like, do you play the Black Lotus? Because if he plays the Black Lotus, is this a Sokenzan?
that is the Sokenzan.
He's just waiting. Oh, did Jake just
Jake
miss
did
his
no
turn?
second land for Jake. Okay, so maybe right not to play the Blood Moon there, because who really cares if there's only one land, right?
Yeah. So at this point, we're sort of in a rough spot. If we're Jake, he didn't want a mulligan to 4. A mulligan to 4 sort of backbreaking.
Yeah, you're gonna lose the game anyway.
Yeah, I have won less than 5 games on a mulligan to 4.
Yeah.
And those were
they
god
weren't
draws.
Yeah, and they weren't against decks that played turn 1 creature.
Yes.
You know, not that Sean did this game.
But he doesn't. He's really puzzling this through, and he's trying to
He's
figure
got that Snoop now too. It looks like.
Yeah.
Just an embarrassment of riches, maybe.
So we've got, what is this goblin? It's a goblin, presumably.
Yeah.
If anybody in chat wants to tell me what these goblins are, we've got a bunch of people in chat. Go ahead and tell me the goblin. We're reading it on both sides. It's probably a new one, because Jake is reading it right now. I don't know what kind of removal Jake. What goblin is that Sean just played? We're having
a Sardian Avenger.
a Sardian Avenger.
That's
I never
one
would
of his
have
new
gotten that one.
additions for this tournament.
I never would have gotten that one.
Sardian Avenger, a 2-mana 1/1 with First Strike and Trample. When it attacks, it gets +X/O until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts your opponents control. This is a targeted hate piece against artifact decks.
He has 6 specific pieces of hate in his deck for artifacts.
Yeah.
Today. Not including the Abrade that he was already playing. So 7.
It also says when an artifact is put in the graveyard, it deals 1 damage to the player for each artifact.
So Jake does find the second land and plays a Thalia, which awkwardly is going to stop Sean from playing Muxus.
Oh, he's
turn.
attacking? They both have First Strike.
Yeah.
They both have First Strike. He's just...
Yeah.
He can evoke this Fury, or he can cast the Fury. If he Black Lotuses, he can just cast Fury.
Well, the Lotus costs 1, and I don't know if they picked that up or not. I'm assuming that is a Thalia. But that Lotus should have cost 1 mana. And, okay. Well, they missed it, so here we go.
Yeah.
That Lotus should also be in the graveyard.
Yeah, we're gonna hang on. Take 2 seconds here.
Yeah, so I don't know. We're gonna maybe. Here we are. So I think they missed it, both players maybe. So and so many cards have been revealed. I don't think we're.
Yep. So we're gonna
here.
we do have Dakota at the table. Also missed it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to. Yeah, we kind of have to rewind this. This is a pretty big game state issue. Oof.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Just because so many cards have been revealed now.
Yes.
You know.
Generally, the thought process at this point is that we rewind as much as possible. We didn't know the order of these cards before. We put them back on the deck. We randomize, put Muxus back into hand, put the Black Lotus back into hand, untap lands, proceed with play.
Yeah.
But we'll see what Dakota wants to do. Sean is gonna pick up a GRV here.
Jake missed it too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
yeah.
it's. So we're probably going to back it up as much as we can. Sean does have... Yeah, okay. So we're going to back it up, put these cards back on top. Muxus back into hand. Randomized deck. Yeah, so this is... the Black Lotus should also be in hand. We're just reversing everything. Dakota's done this before. Actually, in the finals. So we paid the mana for the Black Lotus.
All right.
We have access to 5 mana here.
Now it's just a mana vault.
Now it's just a mana vault. Yeah, a mana vault that you have to sacrifice? That sounds
Right.
awful.
It does make colored mana.
Oh, right. No, it sounds awful, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, who would play this?
Weird Dark Ritual.
Yeah. This Thalia definitely mattering, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. How much? I don't know. You know, if Sean just opts into this Blood Moon, it's also still terrible because it kills the Sarza Saga.
Yeah. If Sean had pitch cast the Fury ahead of time. So is he just going to cast? Yeah. So we're just casting Fury. Deal 3 to Thalia. This is the other play that I was thinking maybe take. So Urza Saw gonna tick up here.
Thalia paying the price for messing up that Muxus.
Yeah.
Goblins don't.
The iron price.
Yeah.
Did Jake pick up another land? If he doesn't have another land here, he's in a real rough spot. Oof.
No land.
So 6, 7. This is going to be 7 damage. Potentially more.
Yeah, Jake on the bad side of variance right now, you know?
Yeah. So this is 7. We're going to cast. Okay,
We got this
we're
lightning bolt, yeah.
Okay, yep.
Buy some time here.
Yep. Sean still has a grip of cards and 4 mana.
Is on triple mox, so he's going to be able to find a mana source with this.
Yeah, but it's not doing anything else in the meantime. If the
No.
best thing your Urza Saga is sitting there and eventually getting you a mox.
Yeah, right now it's just dying to Blood Moon.
Yeah. Woof. Oh my god.
Yeah. Rough series of plays, but, you know, he's not under a lot of pressure otherwise.
I mean, yeah.
You know, there's a Muxus looming that he now knows about.
Does he have a land? He has a land. It's another mountain.
Okay.
He has a mountain. Jacob has mountain. 2 mountains in play. Incidentally, mountains much more beneficial for Sean than they are for Jake. I'm also going to point out that here's a Rabble Master.
Rabble Master, yeah.
That Jake having non-basic mountains will still kill you with a price of progress.
Yeah.
They are still
Yeah,
non-basics.
Yeah, one of those interactions you don't always think about, you know.
Somebody asking if I can explain what's happening. Sean is killing Jake in quick fashion.
Yeah, Goblin Smash.
Yeah. Sean
you know,
is at an explosive start with a Black Lotus, which is 7 of his points. Has deployed a Blood Moon.
All right, so here's a Chain Lightning to slow things down again
Yeah.
a little bit.
And is sort of like... Jake can't do much. He had to mulligan deeply. He is only on 2 lands. They're both mountains. And has spent his entire few turns casting spells to kill Sean's creatures that will kill Jake eventually.
Yeah, and this is the semifinals of the Lawnlander Championship. This is the format here is Canadian Highlander. It's a 100-card Highlander at a vintage power level with some restrictions on what cards you can put in your deck.
100-card singleton. Can't play more than 1 of any non-basic land.
Yeah. If you were looking for a bigger explanation, I suppose. This is Guts, I believe.
True Soul Zealot.
Yeah.
He is a true... which is better, a True Soul Zealot or a Spirit Warrior?
I think I would pick Spirit Warrior, but I'm not a Goblin guy.
It reminds... You know what Spirit Warrior reminds me of? Is those like shows that they had at high schools where people like strongmen would come in and like tear phone books in half and like break ice blocks.
Yeah, they have the
and,
weird
like,
barbells.
Yeah. And they'd like...
They're always bald with a handlebar mustache.
Exactly.
So this Guts makes this Goblin into a 4/1 menace skeleton.
Oh, so the rules business was that Jake had a Thalia in play, 2 mana Thalia. It makes all non-creature spells cast an additional mana. And Sean's going to pick it up here. Sean went to cast a Black Lotus, which is a non-creature spell. He didn't pay the 1 mana for it, and went to use it to make mana, and they had to back it up because he didn't have enough mana to play the 6 mana Muxus that he cast. So they just had to rewind it a little bit to back to a place where it was. So Sean's going to pick that one up in 4. Jake took 1 game. Sean's got 3.
Yeah. So
Best of 5. Sean got it.
Into the finals.
Yeah, Sean's going to be in the finals against either Travis or Tanner.
Whoever picks that They're still playing there.
Yep.
So
We'll be back with you with the finals really quickly. Go ahead and follow the Twitch channel here if you can. Really appreciate it. Head over to the YouTube channel. Subscribe there. The Old Cranky Man YouTube
Cranky
channel.
Man Collectibles, yep.
Yep. Have a lot of content coming out. All of these games are going to get split up on there. And if you are watching us in the future on YouTube, yo, what up? You're in the future.
Yeah, hit that thumbs up.
Yeah. I assume they figured everything out then. Like in the future, everything's solved. No more strife.
Yeah, we just play Magic.
Yeah.
We don't even have to go to work, you know?
Yeah. All right, guys. Be right back. See you in a bit.